He was a man born to be heard, a voice that could shake the heavens and a soul that could break your heart. Freddie Mercury. To the world, he was larger than life. But behind the lights, the fame, the thunderous applause, was a man haunted by loneliness, searching for something real. This is the backstage of Freddie Mercury. Before he became Freddie Mercury, he was Farrokh Bulsara. Born on September 5, 1946 in Zanzibar, to a family rooted in tradition, faith, and quiet strength. He was shy, different. But even as a boy, he carried something extraordinary. At school in India, friends remembered a boy who could hear a melody once and play it instantly. A gift so rare, so natural, it almost felt divine. But destiny has its own rhythm. When violence erupted in Zanzibar, the Bulsaras fled, leaving behind everything they knew. Their journey would lead them to London, and that's where Farrokh began to disappear. And Freddie Mercury was born. London, the city of dreams and chaos. It was here that Freddie found his people, his purpose, and his sound. He studied art and design, but his real canvas was the stage, and his brush is his voice. When he met Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon, the chemistry was undeniable. Together they became Queen. Freddie chose the name himself. He said, "It was strong, universal, and immediately powerful." It was also perfectly theatrical. He built a version of himself that was untouchable, glittering, fearless, divine, he once said. "I'm not going to be a rock star, I'm going to be a legend." And he was right. But even legends need love. In 1969, Freddie met Mary Austin, a gentle, quiet soul who would become his anchor. They fell deeply, almost instantly. For years, she was his everything. He proposed. She said yes. But as Freddie's star rose, he began to feel something shifting inside him. One night, he told her, "Mary, I think I'm bisexual." She looked at him and said softly,
"No, Freddie. I think you're gay."
That truth changed everything. But it didn't destroy them. If anything, it bound them even closer. Freddie would later say, "All my lovers asked me why they couldn't replace Mary. But it's simply impossible." To the end, she remained his closest friend, his family, his home. And after his death, it was Mary who carried his secret, the place where his ashes were laid to rest, forever hidden. By the late 70s, Queen was unstoppable. Every song they released, an anthem. Every concert, a revolution. But behind the curtain, Freddie was unraveling. The world saw champagne, parties, and outrageous costumes. But what Freddie felt was emptiness. He once said, "You can have everything in the world and still be the loneliest man." The higher he rose, the more isolated he became. Even his bandmates could sense it, the distance, the pain. And then came betrayal from someone he trusted most, his manager, Paul Prenter, who sold his private life to the tabloids. That wound never healed. So Freddie did what he always did. He turned his pain into music. Every note became confession, every lyric a cry for something pure. As the 1980s arrived, Freddie began to live openly, boldly, without apology. He found love again with Jim Hutton, a man who stood by him until the end. But beneath the freedom, a shadow grew. Rumors spread. Freddie was sick. He refused to confirm it. He wanted the world to see strength, not sickness. He wanted to sing, not suffer. Even when his body weakened, his voice never did. He would walk into the studio pale and fragile, and then he'd open his mouth, and magic would happen. His producers said he would sing until blood came from his throat, and still he'd whisper, "I'll keep going, darling." Because Freddie Mercury didn't know how to stop. He only knew how to shine. On November 23, 1991, Freddie released a public statement. his first and last words about his illness. He confessed he was living with AIDS, and less than 24 hours later, he was gone. He was 45 years old. The world stopped. Millions mourned.
And they were